Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar this afternoon. We're just going to give it a couple of minutes, if that's okay, just to let people join if they're running a little bit late from other calls and meetings and that kind of thing. And then we'll get cracking. See the numbers ticking up slightly. Another 30 seconds or so. Cool. I think we're ticking up a little bit, but we will get started if that's okay. So welcome again, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar this afternoon. I'm Noel Dowds. I am the distribution consultant here at Zurich UK, and it is my pleasure to be hosting this afternoon's webinar, which is all about our Zurich claims proposition. So thanks again for joining and taking the time out. I'm just going to run through a little bit of housekeeping, if that's all right, before I hand over to Ryan and Tracy. So just as a heads up, we are recording this afternoon's session. So if you want to go back and re-watch afterwards, or you have any colleagues that weren't able to attend or anything like that, we will make the recording available by uploading it to our YouTube channel. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for a follow-up message after today's call once we've done that, and you'll be able to access it. So also, the plan of today is we're going to run through the presentation, and then we've got some time set aside at the end for a Q&A. So please do throughout the presentation, if any questions come to mind, or if you've brought any questions along with you, feel free to put them in the chat or the Q&A function, and we will pick these up at the end. So yeah, please do that. Right, I think we're probably okay to get cracking, if that's all right. So Ryan, am I all right to hand over to you?
You absolutely are, and hopefully everyone can see the slide. So thank you, Niall, and everyone for joining us today. A quick introduction to ourselves. So I'm Ryan Harper, Broker Claims Relationship Team Leader, and I have Tracy O'Neill joining me today, who is a Claims Relationship Manager, and we form part of the Broker Claims Relationship team, and we're a team of 7 in total. So today, we're going to take you through a little bit of our claims commitment and claims proposition, starting with our 4 pillars that we're committing to. So making it personal, working with yourselves and our customers, making it clear and effortless, so every step of that claims journey is super easy, and making it collaborative for you and our customers, so gathering that feedback on how we can further improve and engage with yourselves. I'm going to start off with a variety of channels we have available for reporting and managing both new and existing claims with us. So you can submit new claims through our 24/7 eEthanol portals, or by the traditional methods via phone and email. For updates on existing claims, you may also engage with us through WhatsApp, SMS, and Live Person, which you'll know more formally as Live Chat, and also our all-in-one claims hub. I'll now pass over to Tracy, who will provide further details on that digital proposition and explore some of these options in greater depth.
Thanks, Ryan. Afternoon, everyone. So as you'll see here, we do have a variety of digital tools that can be utilised, and these are not in place of our claims handlers. You can still speak to us over the telephone. These are just to give you a wider range of tools. Oh, someone's just come in to speak with us. So the first one I'll start off with is our Zurich Claims Hub. This will, as it says there, it's a self-service tracking hub for your claims. If you can have access to this, you will see, so I'm just looking at the listing so I can show you what you get on it. So there's a claims summary, it'll give you all the details of the claims, it'll show you all the documents associated with the file, it shows you the latest updates when the claim was last actioned. It also shows you financial histories on it, so it'll show you any reserve changes up or down and any payments that have been issued. On the payment screen, it will also show you who the payments have been made to, when they were issued, and when they cleared our tracking system. It has recently been updated to show you a present position. So this will show you a present position note on the file when you go into it. So this will show you what on a basic note, instead of going through all of each channel on the hub, it will just show you the reserve, the present position, when the next diary is on it. So if you're just maybe doing some diaries or looking for a quick update on a claim, you should be able to see that straight off, and that will give you an indication of where the claim is. For motor claims, you'll find a repair information screen on here as well, which will just tell you who the repairer is, what stage the repairs are at, the repairer details, and the costs that have been authorised for the repairs and when they were authorised. So if you're just looking to do diaries, or you're looking to update your claims, or you just want to go in and have a look to see what your claims history is for a customer, we recommend that you use this to self-serve your own claims. It is a live system, and so if a payment is, you're speaking to someone and a payment is made, you'll be able to see it directly on there. So there's no 48-hour follow-up. As everything that's changed on our system will show live on there. So it is quite good for you to utilise that, and we'd recommend that you use that. We've got a Hello Zurich tool. Now this is a digital tool that shows mainly in property claims. It saves us having to appoint a vendor or a loss adjuster. So if anyone has any issues with people coming into their houses, if they're disabled, any issues that they have, we can then utilise the tool here. And as brokers, you can still be involved in it. We're not saying that it's only your customer that can be involved in this. You can also join the call. And all this means is the handler will set up a call, and we will take live images within that call, so that we can see the damage within the property, and then we can work out the costing and the work that is required to put the property back to the position it was in prior to this. So it's a quicker way of us settling claims as well. We're not waiting for a loss adjuster to arrange a visit to get a report back to us. We're not waiting for a vendor to come out. We can do it. Obviously, as for smaller claims, we're not saying that this is for like major fires, major escape of water, but smaller escape of water claims, smaller accidental damage claims, we can utilise this for a faster service for the customer. We've got our live chat on all platforms for all lines of business. So this also gives a quicker claim settlement. You can speak to the handler within the team directly. Again, it is set up web, WhatsApp, SMS. You can download your note from there as well. So if you want to keep a transcript from that, it will allow you to do that. It is more modern, and if customers want to use it, a lot of people don't want to speak to people on the phone because they feel they sometimes can feel maybe quite intimidated discussing an insurance claim if they're not sure what's happening with it or the ins and outs of insurance. So it's just it's a quicker way for customers and yourself to get some information on claims from the handlers, and it will be a handler within that team. So if it's a motor claim, it'll be a motor handler that's dealing with it. Same with property, liability as well going forward. Our EFNO portal is where you can log your claims online. So what that just means is a 24/7 service, same as the telephone lines, 24/7. It'll give you a temporary reference number when you log it. So you'll have the reference number. If you need to call us back, you just get instant acknowledgement by an email with the reference number on it, outlining all of the information that you've added to the system, and that claim information will then be transferred to our system when it goes live again in the morning, and then we would pick it up, and you would get the voice recognition and the new reference number. But it's just a way of, if you needed to put a claim in out of hours, but you're looking for a reference number so you can track it, this will give you the reference number without you having to speak to someone. Thanks, Randy. And then part of our sustainability here, we have specialist major loss teams, which we have within Zurich. So they obviously deal with what's in there. It's a major loss for any events that we have. The Zurich suppliers, we have our legal partners within there, as well as our adjusting partners. You'll be familiar with these names. They're all big in the marketplace. We have events such as this, but we do have events in person, face to face, depending on what's going on. We have a full calendar throughout the year for different events. There might be around motor, fraud, casualty, property. If there's anything specific happening in the market, we'll pick that up and we'll run events on that to make people aware of it. We also have our, don't like that fraud word, we won't call it that, so we're called claims investigation unit. So obviously it is an issue within the market at the moment, has been for a while. I'm sure everyone's aware of that. So we have an excellent team in-house, both for all lines of business. They do excellent events to provide insight into what is actually happening in the market at the moment, and that's the sphere. It's wide now, the counter fraud. That's people are making a living from it. It's a business. It's not like you used to see when someone maybe just changed a digit on an estimate. These are professionals, and some of the stuff that comes in is high tech, and it is very, very difficult for us to tell the difference between it. You'll know yourself if you see things online now with ChatGPT. People are making photographs, and it's just so hard to tell the difference between what's real and what's not. So they have a really hard job on their hands, and it is an evolving landscape, but they do it really, really well. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Tracy. I'll start by saying for this service, the customer does not need to have an active claim, and this service is available to customers and yourselves as our broker partners. So Zurich Support Services brings you peace of mind when you need it the most, providing free and confidential advice. The service is delivered in partnership with Workplace Options and offers support for a range of personal circumstances. So I'll say again, this doesn't need to have anything to do with a claim. This just has an active policy behind it. And this could be anything from a divorce, a bereavement, and any mental health challenges. It's just a few examples. We're able to provide that emotional support and coaching to assist you during these times. So if you do require assistance, please do not hesitate to contact the number provided on the slide, which will be sent around afterwards. And please do share it with your customers as well. The next piece I wanted to pick up was Zurich publications. So these are all stored on our Zurich website, and it features the latest claims and industry news, so offering up-to-date insights and expertise as well from Zurich specialists. This information highlights current market trends and developments that may impact you as our broker partners and our customers. Additionally, we do distribute a Broker Insight newsletter to share relevant updates. If you're not currently subscribed and would like to receive the newsletter, please don't hesitate to reach out to your business relationship manager or your relevant CRM if you have one, and we can then get you added to that list to receive these directly. We'll now start moving on to the specific line of businesses and what we do extra in these areas. So we're first going to start with property. Now, this slide does come up in liability and motor as well. So this covers, and we'll only cover it once, all the ways you can contact us in that certain area. So here we showcase all the ways you can contact us, from the usual methods referenced earlier to using QR codes through our EFNOL portals, or to get through us via WhatsApp and SMS. The bit I wanted to point out following Tracy's part in the live person and live chat is the specific codes that you'll find on each slide for each area. And you'll see in that bottom right, it references CB Property. So if you want to go onto live chat and speak and you know which team you want to go through to, you basically will put that code in straight away and go straight through to answer those DPA questions and get through to start discussing that claim. We will send this over afterwards, so you do have those codes and everything in the slides. Tracy, over to you to cover the property element.
Thank you. So as Ryan said, this is now, we're now into different market facing units that we have. So in our property claims, this is more an insight of what we need from you and from customers when you're making the claim, when you're sending the information to us, so that the claim goes smoothly and as quick as possible for the customer, because we are aware a property claim is very personal to people. It's their possessions, it's their home most of the time, so we do want to get these claims moving quickly so that the customer's not at a disadvantage. So the more information that you can provide at FNOL, or the customer can provide at FNOL, the easier and the quicker the claim will flow. So the packages can provide further information about what we need and why we need it. So obviously we need the policy number, we need to know that it's on cover, we need to know the address, we need to know what's happened. But when we need to know what's happened, we need to know in as much detail as possible, because you may have an escape of water claim and you may just tell us, if you're reporting it for the customer, oh, it's an escape of water. However, it may be the whole property that's flooded, so we need to know as much detail as possible in that FNOL, so that we know that we can get the claim on the right track to start with for the customer. Because obviously, if you know there's a large escape of water, we need to get things moving quickly for the customer. But it's just small and it's just affecting a small part of the room. This is where we could go back to using digital solutions to get that moving for them. So there are things to consider when making a claim, which I'm sure you're aware, but we need the customer to be aware as well if they're making their own claims. We need them to be aware that buildings do deteriorate. So most of the time, if there's an issue, if there's heavy rain and water starts coming through your roof, more than likely there is an issue with the roof that's just been highlighted. So it's things like that we need customers to be aware of, and we need you to make customers aware of that when they're taking out policies with you. It's all about the maintenance of the building, that they need to maintain it. And no one will say that they do maintain their property regularly. Everyone will make sure everything looks okay, but there are things that you can't see, and we understand that. But the more that we can put out there that they need to know before making the claim, the easier it will be for them and the less impactful it is as well when they do come to a claim situation. So if an escape of water claim, which is predominantly most of the claims that we see now, and I'm sure it's what you're seeing coming through, it seems to be the biggest claim now that we get. We need to know what's been damaged, where's the water coming from. So you might think that that's not relevant. However, we need to know whether it's clean water or dirty water, because it can have a massive effect on the claim. Obviously, dirty water would be we're referring to sewage, so we need to know quickly what we need to do. Do we need to get it sanitised? Do we need to get people moved out as quick as possible? So the more information we can get on that, the better. So there are guides on this slide, and all of these where it says water impact, that they're all links. You can go in behind that and it'll just give you information to pass out what they need and what can be damaged when these claims happen. Flood resilience. After a flood, what measures have been put in place? So flooding isn't very common, but when it happens, it's catastrophic at times. So we need to know what steps have been put in place to minimise the risk happening again. And normally when there is a flooding event, there will be something that's put in place following that. So we need to do that, and we do work with the Environment Agency as well to see what we can do to minimise these things happening. But like I said, they're not as common as they used to be, and we do find that the Environment Agency, etc., work quite well with these to prevent these happening, because when they do happen, like I said, they are catastrophic, so they do put some people behind them. Severe weather warnings. But obviously, if you can't tell by my accent, I live in Scotland, so we have severe weather on a daily basis. So it'll go from glorious sunshine to hail and sleet the next minute. So we are quite prepared for that, but people need to be aware of that when there's severe weather, things that they need to look out for, how to prepare, especially if it's storm, things to move so that they don't cause any damage, moving things in your garden, tying things down, making sure that your roof looks okay, making sure you don't open your windows and doors when the wind's blowing, just to see what it's like outside. Quite quickly, your windows and doors are going to come right off the hinges. So it's just about making people aware of what can actually happen when these events do take place. So location. We do like to steal a phrase here, don't we? So if customers are forced to move out, there's a massive issue, and there has been a massive issue around accommodation and the price of it, because there's so many renters have sold their properties during COVID due to cost of living crisis. So we are very fortunate that we now have a partnership with Airbnb. And it gives us access to over 200,000 properties within the UK. So that makes it so much easier for us to get someone into a property when a hotel is not suitable for them. Now, a hotel will not be suitable for many people, especially if you've got children, if you've got pets. The hotels tend to be out of city, or they're directly in the city, and people don't want to live within the city. They also don't want to have children and pets within these accommodations. So we have this link in with Airbnb. It also helps us with costs. So we have set costs agreed with them, especially for London area. It's extremely difficult to get accommodation there when an event takes place. So we are really proud that we've managed to secure this with Airbnb for our customers. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Tracy. So moving on to liability, I won't cover the contact page because it's exactly the same as the property, just for a liability basis. And again, you'll see the live chat code in the bottom right, which I referenced earlier. Moving on a helping hand and touching on the videos again, and not because there's a really big play button on my screen, but you'll see as we send this pack round afterwards, and on our Zurich website, there is some really useful guidance and example videos on Zurich's website, and that'll walk you through the liability claims process and how you can link in with some of our in-house teams, such as what I'm going to talk through now, and that's the rehabilitation team. So at Zurich, we have a dedicated medically qualified team of rehabilitation case managers, and these are all in-house. They offer expert case management services and manage injuries sustained in the workplace. The team provides both pre- and post-claim solutions to meet the needs of our customers. Again, as I've just mentioned, at the bottom of this one, there is again another amazing video which showcases the team and some customer feedback. So I would say if you have got the time, watch it afterwards. It is a great video. And the video does go through and explain how the team complete injury management to help employees return to work sooner and reduce of any claim arising in essence. The case study, as you'll see, is a really, really good one. I always point to the outcome that if we do get the referral quick, and that video will explain it all, how you send the referral in and how a customer interacts with us, the injured party in this scenario is able to return to full pre-injury within 2 weeks. And then if we compare to the equivalent in the NHS, that would have took up to 8 to 12 weeks, where then you start factoring in loss of earnings and everything else. So a really good and niche in-house team we have there. The next one I wanted to touch on was the claims inspectorate. Again, along with the rehab team, this is an in-house team, and I think many of our competitors actually outsource this function. So having this in-house allows us to rapidly respond with expert advice and hands-on support much quicker. The team provides national coverage and will be instructed where required on both employers and public liability claims. I think in the market, a lot of people are quite close to the claims inspectors, but if you do want to meet or greet them, do let us know and we can set those calls up individually. Tracy, over to you for motor.
Yeah, thanks. Just go past that screen. So motor, first one we were going to discuss on here then is for the intervention team. So I'm sure you're all aware, intervention costs can escalate very, very quickly. If we don't get someone into intervention as soon as possible, they then go into credit hire. Now I think last year motor claims made up about £11 billion for the industry. It's a massive cost. Credit hire costs are extremely high. However, we have this year set up our own credit hire team. No, they're not a credit hire team, I'm telling lies. I don't know why I said that. Our own intervention team. Ryan and I have got a credit hire team for ourselves. We have our own intervention team in-house, and to date, they are sitting at about a 42% retention rate that we're getting in for claims. So we are managing to save costs and stop these third parties going into credit hire. So obviously it's helping us to minimise the claims costs and manage the claim and support third parties at a stressful time that they're going through. Again, there's a video here, and as in all of these, we would recommend that you watch the videos because they are specific to each section that we're talking about here, and they'll just go into the basics of where they are at the moment and how much they're actually saving the companies and how much they're saving the claims by using the team there. So they're a great team. They're internal. I think there's 9 of them in total, and they are expanding. So that's only good for us that we will be able to intervene in more claims going forward. Accident recovery. We work with the RAC and we aim to attend the accident within 60 minutes in 70% of cases. So you'll be aware of all of this, how we keep people moving, what we use. We've got taxis, hire cars, public transport. Hire cars are probably the biggest thing for people. However, these are not stringent anymore. People are fluid in how they like to deal with these things. They may have another car that they can use. They may not need it because they're working from home. So we will come to agreements with them. Can they have vouchers for some different places? We went through a stage where people had vouchers for Halfords, or they had a bike instead of a car, depending on their needs. So it's not as straightforward anymore as you have a hire car and that's the end of the situation, because some people don't need the vehicle and they will ask for other things. And we have seen instances where we've donated to charity for people because they've said they don't need the car, they've got another car, or they're quite happy to take public transport. We will then pay them for that. So it's very much on a case-by-case basis, depending on what the customer actually wants. But we do have an extensive network of approved repairers, which I'm sure you'll be aware of. Nationwide coverage. The repairs are guaranteed for the vehicle, and that's the big thing that we would always say to customers. A lot of customers will want to use their own garage. Maybe it's someone that they've known for a long time, especially if it's an older vehicle and it's maybe out of service, and they don't need to maintain the service record on it. They want to use their own garage. We can't guarantee the repairs, whereas if you use one of our approved repairers, we can guarantee it and we can control the work and the cost, etc. involved in it there as well. And as well, if anything goes wrong with it, we'll obviously take up the charge for the customer on that. It also reduces disruption, and we do where we can when the policy stipulates it. We'll try and get them a replacement vehicle. Again, if they don't need the replacement vehicle, they can go down the same route. Can they have vouchers? Can they have a pedal cycle? Can they have it in any other way, as in a donation, etc. So again, nothing untoward there or you won't see from anywhere else. The vehicle will be cleaned when it comes back to them. We do use green parts as well where possible, if that's quicker for the customer. The parts issue seems to kind of resolved itself at the moment from last year. It doesn't seem to be as bad as it was, but there are peaks and troughs with that. So there are peaks with the certain dealers or certain makes of vehicles. Sometimes the parts are harder to get, but that just seems to ebb and flow at the moment. There's no one company I can think of at the moment that they're having issues. So thankfully that has cleared for the approved repairers, and they are able to get the repairs in quite quickly on the vehicles at the moment. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. And the last slide is covering rehabilitation on motor. So again, go through that immediate telephone assessment to create a proactive rehabilitation plan. And referrals can be made via email or our online portal. So going into further detail on motor, on how you can get a referral put into us as quickly as possible, so we can support further in those cases where there's a motor incident and an injury involved. I believe we'll now open up for any questions, Niall.
Thank you very much both for taking the time to walk through that with us. We've got one question that's come through so far in the chat. I don't know if anyone else has got any thoughts that they want to add, but we've got a question here from Daniel asking, where can people find access to the Claims Hub, please?
You want me to take it, Tracy?
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. So we have a onboarding form internally. So if you reach out to your business relationship manager or your relevant CRM, If you have one, we will send over your onboarding form. You'll then fill that in with the people that need relevant access, along with your agency numbers. Some people may need access to certain ones, some may not. And you'll then also select a super user within that onboarding document. That super user can then just ensure anyone new, you might have a new starter that needs access. You can then upload that person onto the Claims Hub yourself without constantly having to come back and forth with us, just giving you full control of who has access to the hub on your side. Once that comes back into us, we will then pass that document onto our digital team. They'll onboard all of the people on your onboarding document, and you'll then get an Okta Verify come through and a bunch of emails to sign up and gain your access.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. We've got another question that's coming from Leanne asking about can details be shared on CRM for different areas?
In relation to, are we looking at claims managers or relevant relationship managers? If you've got a claims relationship manager, they should have reached out to you already. If you want to drop me a email afterwards, I'm happy to pick it up.
Sure, that sounds good. Well, maybe what we'll do then, Ryan, if when I send around the follow-up email, I'll include your email.
Yeah,
and
that's
Tracy's
fine.
in that as well. So if anyone's got any questions on that kind of thing, they can send it through.
Perfect.
Right. We got another one that's come through here. Will Zurich accept calls from third parties?
I'll take that one. Yeah, we do accept calls from third parties. And I've actually got my own claim ongoing at the moment, and not with Zurich, with another company who don't accept calls from third parties. So yeah, we do accept calls from third parties, and we will try our best to speak to the third parties to deflect them and keep them away from yourselves, so that we will actually just intervene 100% on it. So yes, we do speak to third parties.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tracy. Any more for any more? And if not, it's fine. We can, as I said, we can pick it up and over email or anything like that at a future point. So if no one's got any more questions, which I think is probably where we're at, I think we're okay to wrap up. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining this afternoon. It's been great to have you here, and we hope you found that useful. We'll send around the relevant materials, including the pack that we ran through this afternoon, as well as the recording as well. So you'll have access to all of that later on. And thank you very much also to Ryan and Tracy for walking us through that today. Much appreciated. So I hope you all have a lovely rest of your afternoon, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks,
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.